The ID at Xbox Showcase has wrapped. We've got a ton of exciting games to talk about. If you happen to be a Game Pass subscriber, you've got a lot to look forward to. We'll get into it.
In addition to that, we're talking Steam Next Fest, Pokemon Day, WB Games, Fable, new game announcements. We've got a stacked show today. So let's get it going right now on Gaming News Weekly. What's up, everybody? It's time for another episode of Gaming News Weekly, the best weekly video game news show out there. Every single Monday, we're bringing you all the biggest things happening in the video game industry. You can find us on YouTube and podcast services everywhere. My name is E-Rock the Red, and as always, I am joined by this gentleman right here, Mr. A Full Clip. What's going on, dude?
How's it going? I'm doing all right, you?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm great. I'm a little I'm tired. I don't know if you could see it in my eyes, but I feel like my eyes are barely open.
Yeah.
And this one, my left eye keeps like twitching. Like I've just been playing too many games for one. I've been staying up too late. I've been drinking too much. It's a whole thing. But you know, I'm here, and I'm happy to be here.
I feel you. I mean, that sounds like my normal day going through. Like I was in bed about
I know
4
you always
a.m.
look so
last night,
good.
and oh, I don't know about that. I'm getting a little more haggard every day. But I'm excited.
I don't know how
this
you do
week.
it.
I've actually got something to talk about. I tried out a game that I've been wanting to play, and this is maybe my New Year's resolution. Only 3 months into the year.
All right. I mean, better late than never.
Yeah, my resolution is to play more games that actually interest me, and not ones that are like easily available or I feel like I should play to talk about. I just want to play fun games like Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
So I got to check out the demo on Steam for that. Yeah, pretty interesting game. My first entry into the Yakuza series, and you know, from the trailers we've seen, these games are kind of bonkers, off the wall, very like Japanese inspired with gacha games. And yeah, we talked a little bit about it last week because it fully released. We talked about what it's like to be on the ship, and then once you get the ship and you go to the Hawaiian island, there's just a ton of mini games, and that's sort of where the demo starts off. There's clearly some story that happened before this that introduces you to the characters, but in the demo, you're just kind of getting off in Hawaii and exploring the town, riding your Segway around the beach, getting into trouble, fighting a bunch of people, and the combat is crazy. It's very satisfying, I'll say that much.
Nice.
And doing mini games. Now, the only thing that kind of got me there was I was expecting a little bit crazier of mini games. A lot of the ones that I ran into were like just traditional Japanese board games and stuff, like shogi. I recognize it from Naruto, but I don't know how to play that game. It's like a strange version of chess, I guess. There's a lot of that, and then when you're ready to set sail, you get on the ship. You go to this other place, which is like an underground pirate cove, and they've got this indoor battle arena where you're taking your ship and you're fighting. Once you take their ship down, you got to board it, and then it's all a fist fight on the deck of the ship. And you're using all your crazy mystical powers, and you're summoning shark demons that come out from the ground and eat people. It's wild.
It sounds amazing. Now, as far as pirate games go, is it better than Sea of Thieves?
I'm going to say no in that aspect, because in Sea of Thieves, you have to have the co-op going, which just makes for very memorable times. So if I'm choosing between the two.
What about Skull and Bones? Better than Skull and Bones?
You know, I only played that like 45 minutes of Skull and Bones until it crashed my PC. Yeah. And yeah, it's not up there with that. Maybe like Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Yeah, that was my next
I'm going to say that the combat is probably not quite on par with Black Flag, at least from what I remember. It's been a long time since I played that. But
that's like the gold standard for pirate games.
But it's up there. It's just maybe not quite to that level. It's not taken as seriously.
Yeah. But where's the mini games in Black Flag, right?
Right.
Where's the wackiness? That's great. Yeah, I downloaded the demo. I haven't tried it, but your talk just now made me excited to go give it a shot.
Oh yeah.
But speaking of demos, dude, I've been playing so many demos. So Steam Next Fest is going on right now. It ends in a couple days from here, and I got a bunch of them here. I want to talk about let's talk about a few of my favorites. Promise Mascot Agency is one of the games I'm looking forward to most. We talked about this a long time ago when the trailer came out. There's you run a mascot agency. There's a giant pinky toe that rides around with you in a truck.
Yeah.
And it's really, really weird. The demo continues to be it's one of the weirdest games I've ever played. And I've played a lot of weird games. This one is up there. The style choices that they use are so good. They use this washed out color scheme to make it look older. Fantastic. The weird little games in that, great. There's it's more there's more reading than I expected to be in this game. Less gameplay, more reading. Now I don't know if that's just because it was I did the first little bit, but it is high on my wish list, big time. I'm very excited for that one. That comes out I think in April. Another one I played, Shotgun Cop Man. And it's a real simple game where it's just I think it's I don't know how it was 100 megs, the whole game file, but it's this, you just shoot your traversal through these boards are done with either a big, a shotgun blast or to shoot you in the air. And then once you're in the air, you can hover by shooting, your movement is done by shooting. And you have to you're this little tiny weird, you look kind of like a thumb, but also a cop, and you are shooting demons in hell. Very strange. I recommend it.
Yeah, this sounds a little bit there was a squirrel game like this, I think.
Yeah,
maybe a peanut game like this. You're a peanut and you're shooting guns.
This one is it's way more simple than either of those even.
Oh.
It's so strange. The next one I loved. It's called Twisted Tower. It is a first-person game, but you're going through in an abandoned theme park, and it's all the enemies are nightmare. It's these creepy clowns and it's all everything's a little silly, but very, very stylish and just dark and makes you feel uncomfortable. But it's not a horror. I mean, it's horror, but not jump scares. It's more hey, this is super cool to look at, and it's a cool vibe. That one was fantastic. That one, unfortunately, it didn't run great on my Steam Deck, so I played it enough to know that I'm interested in it. Hopefully, they optimize it for the deck before it comes out. And then the last one, I love RPGs that add a different kind of idea to it. It's not turn-based, it's not action. This one, have you ever played those coin pusher games where you put the coin in and it falls and then it's on the ledge and then it pushes coins down on the ledge and then those coins get pushed off? So it uses that for its battle mechanic. So you drop a coin in the thing. For every coin that you knock off, it adds one thing to your attack. Once you get 5 of them, then you attack the other the bad guys.
Yeah.
It is, and there's you find in the thing, sometimes there's a item that you'll find in there and you can equip it. You got swords, all this stuff to upgrade your character. And then you go to the shop and you buy, it's a full-fledged role-playing game just with a coin pusher as the that one's called Coin Push RPG.
Yeah, you said you can find coin or you can find swords and items in there. I was gonna ask because with the real life machines, they sometimes they'll throw $100 bill on top or an iPod Nano, and you're supposed to be convinced to keep putting quarters in there until the iPod gets pushed off the end. So that's kind of cool. Is it more generous than the real life machines where they sometimes have those slots on the sides and the quarters fall backward into the machine?
So the one thing I noticed about this is that the physics of it are really, really well done, because there's times where like, you can keep getting like the way of maybe the coin might fall, and it'll fall like partially on top of a coin. So anytime it gets pushed, it's just going on top of the coin instead of pushing it flat. So it was doing that a bunch, and I'm like, man, this is really jamming me up. But yeah, it is a fantastic weird alternative to that. So yeah, some great games, dude. Other ones I haven't really gotten a chance to play, but I downloaded the demo. Aethermancer is like a creature collector. White Knuckle is like a climbing game from Dread XP. Mindwave is like a WarioWare kind of micro game type thing. Deliver at All Cost is like a driving game where you got to deliver stuff. Dude, there's so much. Wander Stop. Runeborn is like a deck builder with like a slot machine mechanic. Dude, there are so many amazing looking games that are available for demos currently. So, and a lot of times after the Steam Next Fest ends, the demos are usually still available. So, go check them out. But there's so many fantastic games. So, yeah, I was real busy doing that. And then one other thing, like maybe a demo on a larger scale, Splitgate 2 Alpha I got into, and that is just more, it's just more Splitgate, really. It's a really well done game. I remember it being like easier. I was getting destroyed in it, dude. And I'm like, how are these people so sweaty? Yeah, in the new one, how are these people so sweaty after like it being out for like 2 days, like in the alpha? I was like, what is happening? But it's more Splitgate, and I think if that's what people want, I think that's great. The addition of like new abilities and stuff, it doesn't detract from anything. It just kind of adds a new twist. So that's really cool. But yeah, I definitely, if they do another alpha or a beta, check it out. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on it.
Yeah. So was it pretty stripped down, or did they give you, I know the focus on this one seemed to be more in like, let's show you the characters and who they are and sort of flesh that out, which was completely missing from the first one. Do you get that sense from the alpha?
No, not really. So there are 3 different like types of characters. And each one has kind of a different like loadout. So there's one now where it's like, this is your character that does like they have like a healing type effect, and they have an assault rifle. Or then there's like, this class that has a wall thing, and they have like a different type of like a rifle. So, there's just more of that, more of the traditional like first person shooter style loadouts and builds and that sort of thing. But the gameplay is still that same, flying through the air, shooting portals, trying to find the right angles. I feel like there's less like walls that you can portal in this. I don't know if that's just me misremembering, but I remember in the first one being able to like have your spots where like someone's going to go up here and you can jump up there and then get them. I don't know if I just haven't figured that out yet, but I mean, there's a bunch of maps, like a bunch of different game modes too, like. So it's a pretty fleshed out game, and it doesn't. I don't think it has lost anything in the tightness of the shooter aspect of it. Like it still feels like a really tight quality shooter. So nice. I'm excited.
Yeah, I want to get in there.
Yeah, definitely check it out. All right, we got a lot to talk about. We got a stacked show. We got to get into our new releases. All right, first up, we had the release of PGA 2K25. Came out February 28th on PC, PS5, Xbox Series S, and X. It's golf. It's more golf. You got the career mode, the My Player, course designer. This one has the new Evo swing mechanics to make it feel more realistic. In that case, it's just like me just slicing it into the woods repeatedly. It's getting more realistic. It's got all the PGA tournaments, season, multiplayer mode. What else can I say about it? It's golf. You a golf fan?
Yeah. Not really. I mean, unless we're talking mini golf, then maybe.
There you go. That PGA mini golf is not yet announced. All right, but then the big one. Monster Hunter Wilds also came out on the 28th on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series S and X. This is the next one in the Monster Hunter series. Everything I've heard about this is that it just kind of smooths out everything from the previous ones. It just makes it better. Like the fighting, the collecting, the crafting, the cooking, like all that stuff just makes more sense. They introduced a new story into this one, so you're not just running around killing animals. There's a story to do. Some of the feedback I've heard from the game is that it is fairly simple. It's too easy. Fans of the series are saying they played the whole thing and didn't die once or didn't have any like really troubling parts. Which Capcom already announced that they are going to be putting out an update soon, and it has like parts of it that are a little bit more difficult. So that's cool. And then the other troubling bit is that it runs terrible on PC. The optimization is really bad. It's got a 90 on Metacritic. It's got 60% positive on Steam. So console, great. PC, stay away. A lot of people are just saying don't even attempt it until it gets fixed up. It didn't stop it from immediately like going to #1 on Steam charts. But word of warning for all you PC people. What do you think about this one?
I've not really gotten into the Monster Hunter games. Mm-hmm. I did play Dauntless, which I guess is supposed to be kind of a Monster Hunter-esque game. One thing that I saw a headline about addressing a problem, but I didn't get to read the article, was saying something like the real Monster Hunter Wilds doesn't come until after the credits. Have you heard anything like that?
Yeah, I actually did. In a review I read, I don't remember what it was, but it was like they rolled credits, I think 15 hours into the game, but yeah, then it's more about just building up your character, and like, because then I think they said they played an additional like 30 to 40 hours after that. So yeah, I don't know much about it. I played I think the last one for maybe an hour before I realized it wasn't for me. I felt bad killing these defenseless creatures just to make a cool hat. I got to get past all that. But I think this one would be the one to do it because it has that multiplayer aspect. You can play with 4 people running around just killing giant monsters, and everybody's got cool hats then.
Oh yeah,
that sounds cool. I'm in it for the hats. And then that was it. Those are our big new releases. There was a Yu-Gi-Oh game I didn't include. I didn't want to get you all fired up. I know how you feel about the Yu-Gi-Oh. But maybe
believe in the heart of the shit.
All right, let's get this going, and let's talk about our news of the week. All right, first up, the ID at Xbox showcase took place early last week. It was part of IGN's Fan Fest. They showed 22 games in total, release dates, new game announcements, Game Pass stuff. I'm going to run through it real fast. I'll leave out some of the stuff that's not great, but we're talking about the best stuff. So first of all, 33 Immortals, the roguelike, got a release date that's coming March 18th. Very excited to try that one out. Sounds interesting. Balatro came out to Game Pass at the event, so that I still see people like that haven't played it and still saying like, this is ruining my life because I'm addicted to Balatro. So that's cool. They announced Blueprints. Friends of Jimbo Pass, yeah. My kid's a huge Bugsnax fan, and that's one of the cards you could get on there now. So it's all about customizing it to the Bugsnax.
I'll list them off real quick. Fallout, Assassin's Creed, Civ 7, Rust, Slay the Princess, Bugsnax, Dead by Daylight, and the Critical Role YouTube channel.
That's fantastic. I didn't know that was in there. I went right to the Bugsnax when I applied them. I didn't know there was a Slay the Princess one either. Very cool. Blueprints is a game that I'm very excited for. They did announce that it will also be coming to Game Pass on April 10th. This was a big get for PlayStation last week when they announced that it was going to be coming day and date to PlayStation Plus. So not really that big of a get anymore because it's also going to be on Game Pass. But that one looks like a very fun puzzle game. Buckshot Roulette is coming to Xbox and Game Pass. This was one that took the internet by storm. I've never got a chance to try that out. But yeah, let's shoot guns at each other or whatever you're doing that. Descenders is a new Descenders game. This one, Descenders Next, coming out April 9th. It's more descending. This one with, I think, like snowboards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
which I was just asking for new cool borders last week.
There you go. This is it. Descenders Snowboard. It's time. Echo Weaver coming to Xbox and Game Pass. This is a really beautiful looking Metroidvania style game. Excited to see more of that. Herdling. This one was a draw. Comes to Xbox and PC. It is you're herding these giant like bison or buffalo. They're weird looking. They're not like real bison. They're like a space bison.
Yeah,
something like that. It's some sort of alien creature. Let's see. Jump Ship was another first-person shooter. This one, it sounds interesting because you not only like you control a spaceship, but then you have to go and do like these on combat section, and they seamlessly transition between them. So it's a fun idea. It's for 1 to 4 players. Lies of P Overture got a new story trailer. This one is the one I was most excited for, this next one. The Lonesome Guild. So this is from a new game from Don't Nod. And it's like a RPG, like an action RPG, with these like adorable little creatures. There's like you play as a ghost, and then you have to like build a team. It's like a classic team building RPG situation where you gotta like, get these cute little animals to fight with you, and then do all your work because you're just a ghost. You can't do shit. You got to get animals to do your bidding.
But you do get to switch between them and play as those other characters to do like your attacks and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yes. So yeah, it looks like a great game. Excited for that one. That comes out in the fall. Moonlighter 2 was announced that it's coming to Game Pass. I never played Moonlighter 1. I do own it. So I got time sometime in 2025 for the sequel. Outbound was a new trailer announced coming in 2026. This one is like you have like this VW like van, and you build like a giant greenhouse on top of it. Is what I took away from the trailer. So you gotta it's like you get materials and then you build a house on top of a van. Sounds right up your alley. I think you did that in real life. Ratatan. We got a new trailer for that. That's the latest game from the creators of Patapon. It's a rhythm, strategy, roguelike game. Looks like a lot of fun. That comes to Xbox later this year. Revenge of the Savage Planet was announced that's coming to Game Pass on May 8th. That's a co-op exploration game, and it looks funny. It looks like real silly. There's like weird weapons.
Yeah, a bit of like a goat simulator vibe going on in it, and a monster rancher, slime rancher at the same time.
Absolutely, yeah, it was real silly. Looks like a lot of fun. They had the premiere of Rock Beasts. This is a rock and roll band manager game in which you play the manager of a legendary 90s band who just happen to be animals. So, I've been asking for this for years. I was like, I want a game that's a 90s band of animals, and I want to be their manager.
Oh, it's pretty interesting in there if you start catching some of the details. Like it's announced by Iggy Pop, and there's like a Lemmy Kilmister or whatever his name is from what is it? Ace of Spades. Oh
yeah, Motorhead.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's like a dude that looks like that. There's some Slayer dudes who are like goats with their horns and shit like that. Looks pretty interesting.
It does look interesting. And then Tanuki Pond Summer. This is a cute little, you play as a raccoon that's delivering things. That's going to be coming to Game Pass, and that comes sometime late 2025. And then Tempopo is another cute game from the team behind Unpacking. It's a puzzle adventure bursting with music. Where you enter a fantasy world and you have to use Tempopo creatures to solve puzzles. So yeah, I don't know what any of that means, but the game looks cute, and it's from the Unpacking people. So I'm in. Comes April 17th on Game Pass, and then Tron Catalyst is a new Tron game. You ever were you a fan of the Tron? Everybody loves Tron.
No, I haven't played the games.
No, you're not that guy. Did you see the movie, the Tron movie?
Not the new one.
Tron. It's a fun thing to say. The more I say Tron, how it just feels wrong. But that comes to Xbox on June 17th. It's got the light bikes and all that stuff, probably. Ultimate Sheep Raccoon. That comes to Game Pass. It's a side-scrolling bike riding party game. It's got an 8-player mode where you got your animals riding bikes, and you got to, get to the finish line.
Yeah.
This one was really exciting for me. Wax Heads. It's basically like record store manager simulator, but way like cartoony and with a really, really cool art style. That one's not coming until 2026. We got another cute game. A lot of cute was the style of this showcase here, because this one is Woodo. It's a story-driven game that uses like you gotta like build things by pulling 3D objects from your menus to fill a scene, revealing more of the tale of main characters Foxy and Ben. And it's like it's cute.
A lot of wood textures, very nice.
Yeah, I love a nice mahogany.
Yeah, I would say it's like as far as like textural games, this is up there with Little Big Planet.
This is a textural game. You're crushing it, except wood instead of yarn. So yeah, that was it. There was some fun, exciting things in there. Nothing like major. Obviously, it's all like indie stuff. But yeah, dude, Game Pass is the best game service going. My son was looking for a new game to play, so we went through all of the Game Pass games, A to Z, and the whole time I'm like, man, I want to play that. Oh, I want to play that. Tons of like indie games that like I have even on my Steam wish list, that I haven't played. And I'm like, holy cow, that's on here? Like so many games. And then we went to PlayStation Plus and did the same thing, A to Z, and not as good. Not nearly as good of a service. They have a lot of like older like classics, but like it was there were so many more where I was like, oh, I gotta play that on the Game Pass.
Yeah.
So, and they're just adding a ton more on the reg. So it's very cool. Best deal going in gaming. All right, the next event. Just a few days later, we got the Pokemon Day Showcase. This is the annual event, commemorates the launch of Pokemon Red and Green back in 1996. So every day we get a ton of Pokemon announcements. You're a Pokemon guy, right?
Somewhat. I haven't played any of the newer games.
Do you celebrate Pokemon Day? Do you put it on your calendar? You take the day off from work? No?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, I'm going to run through the announcements here. There were two major like video game announcements I'll touch on at the end, but just real quick. So Pokemon Concierge, did you ever watch that show, first of all?
No.
It's a Netflix series. It's like a kind of like a stop motion thing. It's awesome. Watch it. I don't know how long. They're putting it on YouTube for a brief period. If you don't have Netflix, you can watch it on YouTube, and it's a really great show, and it makes you want to be... You work at a hotel that has like Pokemon just walking around. It's great. So they announced the season 2 of that coming in September. And then Pokemon Go, some updates for all those people still playing Pokemon Go. A lot of this is like stuff where I'm like, reading this, I'm like, there are so many Pokemon games out there that I don't know who's playing them. But like Pokemon Masters EX, that's like a gacha game. And I've never even heard of it. Pokemon Cafe, I tried that. That's like a mobile game where you run a
little bubble
cafe.
burst.
Yeah. Pokemon Sleep, they got another update. Stuff coming to that. Again, like it's the strangest shit. Pokemon Unite was the one that I really enjoyed, and I played it for a little bit. That was the MOBA. You ever get into that one? Yeah. Yeah, that one was a lot of fun for the time being. But yeah, I don't know. It lost its draw to me.
Yeah.
And then stuff for the Pokemon trading card game. Some new cards coming to that. You got into that a little bit, right?
Yeah, I was playing it quite a bit up until real recently, and I just kind of fell off. I mean, it gives you like a ton of cards, but you're kind of stuck at like 90%. I guess there's a new trade feature if you can find people to trade cards, but at a certain point, I just wonder like why? Because the battling is not that fun for me, and if you're not, what's the point of collecting them all in this digital portfolio that nobody else is going to see or care about? And so the point would be to battle, and unless that gets a lot more fun, I'm probably not going to go back to it.
Yeah, I agree. And if you want to do battling, that's where this next announcement comes in. Pokemon Champions is a new game that was announced. And it's going to be a Switch game and a mobile game. And they only showed like a teaser trailer, but the teaser trailer got me going because it was all through the years. It was like kids playing a Game Boy, and then like a Game Boy Advance, and then a DS, and whatever. So it was going through all the years, and it was like, this is really cool. And it's got the basically like the Pokemon battle system, but it looks really nice. So that one is very exciting. It's being developed by Pokemon Works, and it will let you connect to Pokemon Home to import your parties from other mainline Pokemon games. So no announcement on when that one comes out, but that one looked really cool, and I loved the trailer. And then the other big announcement was we got a new trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA, just showing more of what the game's going to be, what your starter Pokemon are going to be. You're going to either use Chikorita, Totodile, or Tepig. I don't know, which one of those are you picking?
Between those, probably Totodile.
It does look really cute. So yeah, that one comes out in late 2025. Again, no release date for that, but it looks great. More of that like kind of open world style game like Arceus, but this one's set in like a real city. So, well, not a real city, but like a modern day city. It's not just like walking around the world. So, yeah, Pokemon Day. What was your takeaway? Anything get you going? Were you hoping for more?
No, I mean, like I'm not so into it that I'm really like excited about Pokemon Day, but I was hoping to see a little more of Pokemon Z to A, and we got that. They delivered, as far as I'm concerned. It looks better than the last one. I know there was a lot of issues with the last one because it's kind of like the best you could do with the Switch, or well, no, because people are saying Breath of the Wild kind of blows it out of the water. So they were saying like Game Freak, what's going on? You're being a little lazy here. You could be doing better, as we see, with Breath of the Wild and other games like that on the same hardware.
Agreed.
But this does look like markedly better than what I remember people criticizing and showing from that last one.
Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of wondering if we will get any more announcements in the Pokemon world regarding, like once the Switch 2 gets announced in April, or I mean, once we see more of it, time-wise, and if this game will be also, like upgraded for the Switch 2. Is that something they'll do? I mean, I don't know. So, yeah, we'll have to just wait and see. April is, it's getting real close. All right. Moving on, we got more news out of WB Games. Some unfortunate news. Monolith Productions, WB San Diego, and Player First Games were all shut down. Monolith Productions was shuttered after 31 years of making games. And the game Wonder Woman that they've been working on for a few years was canceled. So, real bummer. But, the writing was kind of on the wall because I know, like, Jason Schreier reported a couple times that, like, they weren't anywhere near where they really should have been on the Wonder Woman game. They were $100 million in, and they had really nothing substantial. So it's unfortunate, but, it happened. I do want to read the statement from WB Games. They said, we have had to make some very difficult decisions to structure our development studios and investments around building games possible with our key franchises, Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. After careful consideration, we're closing 3 of our development studios. This is a strategic change in direction and not a reflection of the teams or the talent that consists within them. The development of Monolith's Wonder Woman video game will not move forward. Our hope was to give players and fans the highest quality experience possible for the iconic character, and unfortunately, this is no longer possible within our strategic priorities. This is another tough decision as we recognize Monolith's storied history of delivering epic fan experiences through amazing games. We greatly admire the passion of the 3 teams and thank every employee for their contributions. As difficult as today is, we remain focused on and excited about getting back to producing high-quality games for our passionate fans and developed by our world-class studios and getting our games business back to profitability and growth in 2025 and beyond. So, it's unfortunate. They did then have an earnings call where they talked about how much they've lost entirely, not just WB Games, but WB, the whole division, Warner Brothers Discovery. I think it was like close to $400 million they lost this year, and how they're going to be focusing on, like I said, though, the franchises, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat. So they did announce well, they didn't announce. I just want to go through their upcoming releases. Batman Arkham Knight developer Rocksteady is said to be working on a new single-player Batman game. WB Games Montreal is reportedly pitching a new Game of Thrones title. Avalanche Software is expected to be working on a new edition of Hogwarts Legacy with more content in the Mortal Kombat series is continuing. So, there's still a lot happening, but it's a little bit less. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say that, continuing the Mortal Kombat series is going to be good. They should have stuck with Wonder Woman. Game of Thrones out. They need to stop worrying about Game of Thrones. The moment has passed culturally. The TV show's gone. The spin-offs are not doing nearly the numbers that the original did. And that's going to be either another flop or canceled project.
I agree. Yeah. I would love a really good, well done Game of Thrones game, but I don't think they would put that much into it. As we're seeing with that King's Road thing, where it's just it seems more just like a mobile game that, I don't know, it doesn't seem like they put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So another thing we got to talk about, with the closing of Monolith, we lost one of the things that they brought to gaming was the Nemesis system, which is a system that they patented. It was the in-game mechanic that tracks a player's actions to create enemies that feel capable of remembering past encounters. So we saw them in the Middle-earth games where the Uruk-hai remembered that you killed their friend or whatever, and then they would come after you. They would rise through the ranks and then try to come after you. So it was a very, very cool system. They were planning on utilizing it in the Wonder Woman game. But now that Monolith has closed and they are no longer planning on using that system, it's really unfortunate because the patent doesn't expire until 2036. So that we could pretty much consider to be we'll never see that again. So
now I wonder if that's something that they're willing to license out, especially now that they don't plan to use it themselves. Because typically with patents, you can use that patented thing, you just have to pay the royalties.
Right. Yeah, and I think that, with Monolith closing, if they can get, someone to buy the patent or license it or whatever, hire some of those people, put it into a game, maybe on a smaller scale even. You don't need all this money behind it. Maybe a new simple IP, but use that system because it was so well made and it really added stuff to the game. I think that would be pretty dope. But I don't know. It is unfortunate. The whole thing is just when you think about it in perspective, how shitty WB is in that they bought Monolith to utilize this Nemesis system and then close them after them 31 years and never utilized it. And they never put out a game for what they paid for. And they did the same thing with Player First. They were, Player First was doing their thing. They had them make multiverses, and then instead of paying them to keep working on multiverses, they just bought the company and then shuttered them when multiverses wasn't up to their standard. It's really just a dirty move. from WB. But it's it's all about rich people getting richer. So
yeah,
they don't care about
rich
us.
people who are used to running businesses that sell toilet paper now running businesses that sell video games.
Right, exactly. And they're just as shitty as their toilet paper. I don't know. I tried to bring that back around somehow. It didn't work. All right. Let's move on. I don't know if this is, depending on where you sit, this is either good news or bad news. Fable has been delayed. It's been pushed to 2026. We didn't have a release date. They did announce that it was coming in 2025. That is no longer the case. For you and I, we're always on the same page. Put a game out when it's ready. I don't care what the date is, when it's ready. And that's exactly what they're doing here. Craig Duncan, head of Xbox Game Studios, said that. So basically, he just said that they're really excited where the game is. So we previously announced the date for Fable's 2025. We are actually going to give Fable more time, and it's going to ship in 2026. While I know that's maybe not the news people want to hear, what I want to assure people of is that it's definitely worth the wait, and I have unequivocal confidence in the Playground team. He said he reassured fans that the additional development time will lead to a more polished and refined experience, and that the delay is in the best interest of both the game and the players. So, yeah, I'm for it.
Yeah. Going forward, though, it's going to be hard to kind of read between the lines of when does the game need more time and when do they just really fear that they're going to try to release sometime around GTA 6. Because we know everybody's pushing off into the future.
Absolutely. I keep talking about that. So I'm doing that, fantasy video game draft thing. And so many games are not announcing release dates because they're afraid, I just want them to announce a release date so that we could get more information about other games in the world, Yeah. It's really, but yeah, I don't blame them. Give me a 3-month window, after post GTA 6, there should be no other games coming out for 2 or 3 months. So, but yeah, Fable, I'm very excited to try that out, and I want it to be as good as possible. So, yeah, keep it pushed out there until they're ready. All right, some PlayStation Plus news. We got the games for March announced, and it is a killer lineup here. We got Dragon Age: The Veilguard already. And then Sonic Colors Ultimate, which I have no idea what that is. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga Collection, which is 13 classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games from the past, all in one collection. So that one, I'm excited to get in there and play with my son. We had a lot of fun with the previous TMNT games. So some great games, man. I can't believe Veilguard's already in there. That's a fast turnaround from being AAA to in PlayStation Plus. So
yeah, well, so much competition out there these days. I think some of these AAA games are going to have to start going for the subscription services. And yeah. But that's cool though that your son can stay focused on the older style Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games because even I can't go back to some of those NES titles.
Some of them are rough, but for me, I don't know if he'll be done with them, but I played so many, the Game Boy one, was one of my favorite games. I think that's on there, just the green, the green screen. And there's some, and they're, especially, I don't know if we'd be able to go back once we play the new one because it's so updated and feels so polished and so nice to go back to some of the previous ones that are a little bit less that. But yeah, we'll check them out. But yeah, most of all, I'm really excited for Veilguard. These games come out; they're available on March 4th. So I will on March 4th. I'm gonna download it. I'm gonna try it. I knew there was a reason I didn't buy it. When it released, I just had to wait a couple months.
Yeah.
All right, and then last up, we had a couple game announcements from 2 amazing trailers. We got 2 amazing looking games. First of all, Terminator 2D, No Fate. This is a retro side scroller. The trailer is so dope because it just shows you, it's all the iconic scenes that you remember from the Terminator movies. And in it you play as Sarah Connor, John Connor, or T-800. Is that the Arnold one? And yeah, it just looks like so much fun. There's these huge boss battles. But yeah, you're trying to, I think the enemy is T-1000. So yeah, what did you think of this trailer?
It just brought me back to my childhood of playing not only like Terminator, but also like RoboCop on Super Nintendo.
Yes. Yeah, it looks like a very cool, stylish, retro game. And I love that it has the scenes, like the actual scenes from the movie in the the 2D style. I'm excited for that one. And then the other trailer was for a game called Blades of Fire. This is from 505 Games and Mercury Steam. And this one, the idea about it was pretty dope. So the premise is here. I'm just going to read this little blurb here. Step forward, Aran Delira, the last hero who can wield steel, and Adso, a young scholar whose knowledge of lost myths and sacred tongues may shape their fate. Learn how to craft near limitless weapon variations in the game's unique weapons forging system, and bring the queen to her knees. Combine countless alloys, hilts, runes, blades, and pummeling edges to craft and perfect the ultimate evil slaying weapon. Every enemy type will pose unique challenges. Every weapon you create will meet those challenges. So that's pretty much the gist. Like, you're the last person that can, shape metal. So you make all these different weapons. But then there's 7 different weapon families with over 30 unique forged scrolls, which allow almost infinite weapon combinations. Over 50 enemy types. The combat looks awesome. There's a part where, like, in the trailer, the dude's like swinging a blade around. He chops off like an enemy's like arm, and it's just blood squirting out everywhere. I'm so excited for this one. It's super stylish. It's kind of got like maybe like a Souls-like kind of fighting style. I don't know. There's like parries, blocks, but just the fact, I love like cool swords and axes and stuff like that. And this game gives me the option to make my own. So
yeah, I need a little more info on that because the trailer was short. The information is a little sparse right now. I just want to know more about the system of like. What are we talking about? Are we like, is this Monster Rancher, but we're polymerizing swords together instead of monsters, and you get like unique, cool abilities out of them? I want to know more about it.
Yeah, I really I'm excited to see what it does. Just based on the trailer, though, like it looks really good. Like I think all the characters are really like the enemies are designed well. Everything's really cool looking, and it like. The character that you play as comes off as a real badass. He's just swinging giant axes and hammers and stuff like that. So it looks magical, but I don't know like if there was like magic like in it. I think everything is done with like these melee weapons. So yeah, I'm excited to see more. But it comes out May 22nd, so it's not far off. Yeah, it's gonna be out on PC, Xbox Series, and PlayStation 5. So yeah, excited to see what this game is. So yeah, both of them, dude. The Terminator 2D and Blades of Fire just came out of nowhere, and in both of them I was like, whoa. So yeah, lots of new games between the Xbox, like all the indie games announced at that ID at Xbox, and then some other things. I think they came out of that IGN Fan Fest, which is kind of shaping up to be a decent, thing about nerd culture. We got a lot of movies, comic books, video game stuff out of that, so it was pretty cool. All right, that is it. That was it was a lot, and we I think nailed it. We've under an hour, perfect. Got anything you want to talk about? We got time. We got like 8 minutes before they cut off the studio lights here.
Oh no. Not much. I guess I'll go ahead and tease that, I may be ending up with the PlayStation 5. I talked to you a little bit about it before the show. Weighing my options here. Got to get ready for GTA 6, and I don't want to be the fool standing in the Best Buy looking at an empty shelf because everybody already went and grabbed them and so they could play it. I wish it was just coming to PC. That would make everything so much more simple. They'd give us like a date.
Right? Like
but usually not until a year later, unfortunately. And by that point, like just the way that we do media now around video games, I'll know every detail of the game 2 months after it
Absolutely.
comes out, thanks to TikTok and YouTube.
Right. And you want to be in the moment, in the zeitgeist as it's happening.
Yeah.
You know, like that's how I am. That's what I always get suckered with too. And I'm like, oh, everybody's saying how good this game is, and I got to buy it, and then I just, like I play it for a little bit, and then play it again. I'm like, I shouldn't have bought that. But you want to be part of the, part of the movie. So
Right. The biggest game that's going to be out for, a decade probably. So
yeah.
I want to be part of it. I want to have it fresh. I need to have the PlayStation 5 ready.
Yeah, I hopefully we'll get some more news soon, man, because I am fiending, and it's just not happening. Like, I don't know any big like events like coming up that we would see.
Yeah, surely not Summer Game Fest. I don't think that. I think
too
they
late,
would do it on their own.
Yeah, or just like something associated. So I don't know, but yeah, hopefully soon. All right. Well, that is it. If you got any, if anybody knows any sweet deals or looking to sell their PlayStation 5, get a hold of Full Clip. He's
yes. Please don't ship me a box of rocks again. Tired of buying boxes of rocks off of eBay.
Yeah, but think of all the cool stuff you did with those rocks.
Sure.
All right. That's it for us here. Thanks for checking out this episode of Gaming News Weekly. Make sure you check out our socials. We're at TikTok and Blue Sky, putting out content over there. And then subscribe to us at YouTube. Pop Culture Playground is the name of the channel. Make sure you subscribe for the, for all the good stuff that's coming out over there. And then if you just want to listen to the podcast, you can do that anywhere podcasts are found. Just type in GNW and you will have this show right there. Again, hit subscribe. That way every Monday it'll be ready for you when you're ready to listen. We're there talking about games. And that's it. So, let's get out of here. All right. Bye-bye.